Hey, good morning again. We'll try this again. How are you?
I'm doing well.
Good. There's me. Back to you.
Yep, I'm trying to.
Yeah, you sounded perfectly clean last time. I think the trick was with Greg's system.
Hopefully, I didn't bring light. I'm in a different space than I was.
Last time.
Yeah.
There's definitely a shadow to your right side, but I don't think it's horrible. Now your right side is definitely. Oh, wait, it comes back. It is a little darker on your right side.
Let's see. Ooh. Light is not doing me justice.
I am doing a few adjustments on my end, so if you're wondering
I
what's going on.
see.
Yeah,
Yep.
working on
Nope.
it.
I see. Great.
Yep. I forgot I. There you go. I forgot I had my mic off. Okay. Well, there's Greg.
How do I look this time?
Well, there's me. Hello.
Hello.
You look good.
Am I in a bucket?
You look a little low. Let me put that 2 box next to you guys so you can see. You do look a little smaller. We do have that noise again. I'm going to tell you right off the bat.
Oh my gosh.
Greg.
Do you have earbuds by any chance?
Do I?
Yeah. Like headphones?
Yeah.
Try plugging those in. And one thing I was going to say for both of you guys.
Well, I have AirPods. I don't have any.
Okay. If they work in with your Mac or whatever. The other thing to warn you guys about is like affirmations. So a lot of times in the middle of a sentence you'll be like, uh-huh. Well, that kind of tricks the audio flow, so it's better just to wait to the end of when Cassandra's answer and then ask your next question.
Sure. Did you still want me to put my AirPods in?
Yeah, literally every time after you get done talking, we hear that.
How about now?
Testing 1, 2. I'm assuming you can hear me.
Can you hear me?
Yes. What do you think, Cassandra? Better?
Is that better?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not hearing that. So I'm not hearing it as much.
I would agree.
It's better than what we were doing. Yeah.
Okay. There's just something it doesn't like about your computer. Who knows?
I have no idea.
I'm amazed anything works.
Okay, so am I using? So when I look here, I look straight at the camera, correct?
That is correct. You're looking at the viewer. Yes.
Okay. Okay. I try to use my the one that's on my computer, but we'll just use this one if that's okay.
Yeah. I mean, it looks good, so why not?
Okay.
Okay, and just remember, what we'll do is we'll have. I'm going to start the recordings. Uh, so a little less affirmations as like Cassandra's doing your answer. Just wait till she
Sure.
gets done, and then what I can do is if there's a good point and you're doing a head nod, I can edit that in from the isolation recordings I'm doing. So we can give that
Gotcha.
affirmation, but the audio is what's really tricky for whatever reason. So I'm going to start on
Sure.
you, Greg. Let me start on Greg. You're on Greg. Okay. I'm going to turn my mic off. I am recording, so you can do a 3, 2, 1, and go.
3, 2, 1. Hi, I'm Greg Stockert, Executive Vice President of Digitrax. Today, we're going to have a conversation with one of our industry's most influential voices. She was the 2026 HIMSS Changemaker in Healthcare Award winner and a Zebra's CNIO and Healthcare Industry Principal for North America and Canada. Please welcome Cassandra McKnight Young. Hi, Cassandra.
Hey, Greg, how are you?
Doing well, thank you. Now, I've been in the healthcare market for the last 30 years, providing our partners with solutions that kind of improve their workflows, trying to help them improve patient care. But you've actually been on the front line. Maybe give us a little background of your career.
Well, Greg, it's really funny being a nurse because there's something I never wanted to do, and now I wouldn't do anything else. I started in healthcare about 30 years ago, and I've always been on the side where I'm really using technology to help drive and optimize
Hey, Cassandra,
workflow.
could you just start from that answer again? There was a little bit of weirdness. So just right from Greg's question.
Okay, I'm sorry, my career. Yes, Greg, it's really funny that you ask me every time it comes up. I hear it. Yeah, Greg, it's really funny that you asked me. Yeah, are you hearing that?
Yes, ma'am, I am. It's funny because in the intro it wasn't there, but it's like when you get your
Wasn't
answers.
there?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yes, Greg, it's really funny that you asked me that because I
Yeah,
never wanted to be a
it's still
nurse.
doing it.
Yeah.
I don't know what to. Do you have earbuds? Do you bring those with you?
Who, me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I definitely have mine. Let me try that. Let's see.
We did a test last couple of weeks with a couple different clients. Never had any of this issue. I'm not quite sure what the the logic of the problem is. It doesn't really seem to make any sense.
It's not making any
But it
sense. Hold
disappeared
on.
when I put my headphones on,
It
right?
did
Or at
appear
least
to be doing that. And I'm wondering if Cassandra, are you in a hotel?
No, no, I'm
Okay.
at home
Okay.
today.
I didn't know if there
I
was
was in a
like
hotel last week.
Wi-Fi,
Yeah.
hotel Wi-Fi or something.
No, let's try this.
Okay.
Let's try this.
Okay. Check, check, check. 1, 2. Can you hear me?
Hello? I
yes,
can hear you.
I can hear you too. Can you hear me, Cassandra?
I can.
Honestly, I think it sounds better. So why don't we turn off the
Okay.
microphone? And again, this was the question about your career.
Right.
Great. Thank you, Greg. I mean, it's funny that you asked me about my career as a nurse because I never wanted to be a nurse and now I wouldn't do anything else. I started in healthcare about over 30 years ago from the lab side, and I've always been involved in what I consider workflow optimization and helping use technology that gives you the best possible outcomes, whether it's right there with the patient or if you are in a lab somewhere. And now I get to work here at Zebra Technology, really just sharing my expertise and strategy and really helping organizations get to a good clinical mobility strategy. Can we hold
So
for a
as you
second?
said, we
Yes, ma'am.
I'm sorry. I want to record that, re-record that. I got some noise in the background right now. It's just I don't know if you hear that water or not. I'm sorry.
I did
Did you
not
hear
hear it,
that?
but we sure can do it. Yep, absolutely. Let me
Okay.
just do one thing real quick. Let me put up color bars for a second, so I know this is the edit. Okay, you can
I'm
go. Let
sorry.
me. No worries. We've had enough issues on my side. You're allowed a few make goods. Okay, so I'm going to turn my mic off, and you can go whenever you're ready.
Thank you, Greg. That is so interesting that you asked me about working as a nurse or being a nurse and what I do today and how did I get to this spot. Because truth be told, I never wanted to be a nurse, never set out to do that. And now I wouldn't do anything else. If I knew what I do today, I definitely would have got my first undergrad in nursing. So, how did I get here? I came from the lab space over 30 years ago. And even in that space, I was always involved in workflow optimizations for better outcomes for the patient, whether it's the patient that I held in my hand with the specimen or the patients that I'm taking care of at the bedside. And so now I get to sit on this side after, of course, working the floor for some years and then getting my degree in informatics and getting certified in informatics is really helping drive technology, design technology that really drives safer patient outcomes. So sitting here on the Zebra side, I got to do that from a clinical expertise lens and being able to share that knowledge I have with all the Zebra customers in their clinical mobility or on their clinical mobility journey.
fantastic. Today we're going to discuss clinical mobility in a healthcare organization and some of the challenges kind of clinicians are having or facing, and what they're looking for in a solution. So maybe you should just start with kind of defining what you would consider the definition of clinical mobility is.
Yeah, my clinical mobility definition definitely is not the typical definition, as I've had experience of talking to different people or seeing what clinical mobility looks like in organizations. And for me, it's really driving every possible workflow opportunity to the bedside, to the patient at the point of care. So for me, clinical mobility is the intentional orchestration of people, technology, and workflows to deliver seamless care at the bedside. It's not about adding more technology, it's about removing friction. So reducing that, what I call nursing backpack. We always talk about having a tool belt for nursing, but really it's a backpack with all the additional tools, devices, and technology that is involved. So really that's what clinical mobility is for me, is using the right tools for the right person to deliver the right communication and optimize workflows at the bedside.
Gotcha. So how do you see the use of mobile computers like the HC50, Zebra's
Okay,
HC50,
Greg, we're going to
or
pick up your question again, please.
okay?
Anytime.
So, do you see the use of computers like the Zebra's HC50 or HC20 becoming more prominent in the next 3 to 5 years? And if so, how long before we get rid of that backpack and go to, say, a single device per user as more of the standard?
Yeah, I think a lot of organizations are moving toward the use of mobility, but I think what I've been seeing is they're bringing in a consumer device, and a consumer device is not built to really sustain and do clinical workflows or optimize clinical workflows at the bedside. And so that's really a key factor for me, because you can't do what I'm going to say scanning at the bedside with a camera feature. That's just a clunky workflow. So for a clinician at the bedside, they're probably not going to use that to do everything they need to do at the bedside. So using a device that's really built for clinician makes sense. And as you know, AI is the buzzword. Everybody's talking about AI. They want to integrate AI. But before you can even get to AI or build into a space where you have a true clinical mobility strategy, you have to have a handheld device to do that. And not several handheld devices, and not a handheld device with additional features or that need additional accessories to work. That is a problem, and that's why, I really think it's contributing to nurse burnout because of the cognitive overload of so many different devices. So yeah, I definitely think that we're moving to a device that is being able to be shared space, and not a one-to-one device per se. Consumer devices allow you to do that, but our platform really allows you to have a shared device. So really reducing that tech spend by the number of devices you need in the space, but then having features that allow you to, for example, tap and get a full desktop option to, complete emails, do full charting documentation, and pieces like that are really, really important. So, yes, will we get there? We will get there. I think organizations really need to open up their mind to see what's really out there and not just want to go with something because that's what they've heard of. That's what we're using in our everyday life. The things that we're using in our everyday life is not what's best for healthcare, and also driving the best outcomes to the patient. And that's what we all should be striving for, safer outcomes for the patient.
So you mentioned AI, which is the
Oh,
buzzword
okay,
all
hang on
around.
one
And
second. There's some automatic gain got to be in your computer. So whenever I switch back to you, it it's like the gain doesn't know you're talking. Then all of a sudden it just jacks it up really high. That's fine. So we'll
okay,
just come to you, give it a 5 count, and then go.
okay. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It's funny that you talked about AI because we're seeing all of these trends kind of happening in the healthcare industry space. I read a stat the other day that healthcare workers are like 5 times more likely to be assaulted than any other profession, including law enforcement, right? So, how are hospitals changing the way they look at safety and security due to this significant uptick in violence? And how does Zebra kind of help protect their workers?
I am so glad you actually asked me about that. I think that the duress function that we have on our HC devices and our badges and a lot of our devices is probably the one piece that I am really most passionate about. And that's because of the statistic that you just shared. Um, I think about everything that I hear and see in the healthcare organizations and why we're being targeted so much. But the biggest problem is we have panic buttons that are 10 to 15 feet away, or we have devices on us that's a pull alarm, or there's an app that we're expected to open up and push. And by the time we do all that, damage is going to already then happen. So our duress functionality really allows you to be able to push a button secretly, or also we have functionality where it's voice activated. If you're wearing one of our companion badge, where you can say a duress word that is secretive to the organization that will allow you to call for help. And so that is just one of the strategies that we're doing. We also have paired with a couple of partners that are really allowed to take things to the next level. So recording on the device if that alert button is actually activated. And even with that's with a camera, with the front facing camera, or actually audio recording. And then, with one of our partners, they can even activate cameras in the room. So for example, if there was a shooting at the hospital, if I was coming to help you, I could actually see what was happening before I get there. So that's really our duress functionality. We can't prevent all harm. It's really set to help mitigate harm. And that's what we ought to be trying to do when we think about workplace violence is nothing's 100% effective, but we should definitely be doing things that are more effective and
Yeah.
not reactive.
I'm sorry, I clipped you at the end there. Can you say we really should be doing things that are proactive and not
We
reactive.
Yeah, we really should be having initiatives that are
I'm sorry, I clicked the wrong
proactive.
button. Just do that one more time. Sorry.
Yes, we should really be having, I'm going to say it again. We should really be looking at initiatives that are proactive instead of reactive. Reactive, lives are lost. Proactive, mitigation and prevention.
Five, four, three, two, one. The second trend I'd like to discuss is kind of the use of voice recognition directly to the electronic health record, or the EHR, and other platforms that are making nurses more efficient and effective. Um, what kind of time frame do you see a larger adoption rate of that type of technology?
Yeah, well, it's out there right now. There's so many different vendors who have developed or are developing ambient documentation for nurses. As you know, physicians have been doing this for many years, and now because we need more streamlined workflows and because of such a nurse burnout, nurse shortage, clinician burnout, AI has become, again, we talked about this earlier, a buzzword, but what does that really look like? So organizations are doing their due diligence now, trying to understand what AI looks like for them in their space. And so with our device, and that's what I see. I see that use of doing AI or ambient documentation where you can just do voice communication with the nurse and the patient, or the nurse and the clinician, and that information can go into the EHR or be visible in the EHR for the nurse to accept to reduce the burden. Nurses are spending up to 41% of their time documenting, and that's not including any additional workflows. So I want to say ambient documentation is definitely uh, what's out there now. Organizations are doing their due diligence to see what they can do to bring that into their warehouse, into their wheelhouse. But there's a lot of other opportunities out there that I've really seen. I just mentioned that nurses spend up to 41% of their times documenting. That's almost 50% of their time at the hospital, but they're of their shift. But there's other things that they're doing, like putting in tickets, going and doing different things for the clinician, for the patient. So I really think that we need to look at other clinician assistant opportunities where you can use voice AI with clinical devices that allow them to put in tickets automatically by voice, or turn on lights, send reminders, those different things. It's like a clinical nurse assistant that's really that we should be looking into. And those capabilities are out there right now. So I'm really looking to see, yes, continued growth with AI, ambient documentation, but the additional implementation of opportunities like a clinical nurse assistant or that's out there right now.
Are there any other tools or apps, that could be used on the healthcare devices like the Zebra HC50, to be more efficient around AI?
I think there's a lot of, you can use whatever application that you want. You deem necessary. I think when it comes to healthcare, we have to make sure that the applications or the integrations, the different things that we need are things that are going to be able to integrate with the EHR. So that's something that that people are always looking at. Whatever we add, you want to make sure that it's integratable with the EHR because we want to reduce the burden. We want to reduce the friction. But also, I think I talk about this a lot. People always say, we don't have money for technology. And what I've really learned out there is that we're wasting money on the wrong resources. I was looking at a stat the other day that we spend about $25 million a year, healthcare organizations are on lost assets, tracking lost assets, labor usage, expired medications, looking for equipment. And I just said that's really an opportunity, because what makes sense to me is using a application. If you're already looking into RTLS or RFID, why not just have an app that the nurse can, instead of looking for a bladder scanner, can really just tap into and search bladder scanner 101. I know where it is. I go get it. IV pump, or even better than yet, tracking my coworker. If I need the wound care nurse or whoever I may need, I can just search where they are or send them a message. So that's the power that I see. I also see a big tick in translation opportunities. We're spending a lot of money on translation in hospitals. And we're just asking simple questions like, what's your name? What brought you to the hospital? What's your date of birth? What do you want to eat? What's your pain level? And everything I just ask is a screening opportunity. So you don't need to spend thousands of dollars on a expensive translation model when there's other models out there that are HIPAA approved that can be placed on the HC device that will allow the nurse to stop delaying care and being able to communicate with the patient at the time that is needed, instead of going to look for a separate device to translate on, or use an expensive translation method that's just not, it doesn't warrant that money. So we really need to look at the where our money is going and redirecting those resources to make sure we have the right technology in place for clinicians, and not just inside the four walls. When I talk about translation, care starts in the parking lot. And so if you're using valet services or anything like that, and if your clinicians or your workers don't have what they need to be able to really support the patient at the point of contact, that is a concern.
Well, this is
Do,
fantastic.
do me a favor. Give me a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, please.
Okay. All right. I may just have to wait just a second. you know, we have the guy that sprays our house is here, like just showed up and started spraying.
Of course.
So,
how else would it go, right?
Well, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, usually on the corporate
so,
shoots, it's the lawn guys, so no worries.
right. So, 5, 4, 3, 2, run. That's such an interesting. Let me start that over. Those are just interesting observations by you, Cassandra. And as we wrap up this conversation, I'd like to take a moment to let our viewers know that at Digitrax, we take that consultative approach with our clients. We really want to understand their issues, what's happening in their facility, how that affects their workflows. And we do a really nice job of sitting down with the end users to get what their current state is and what would be their desired state. So we have kind of a turnkey solution and that implementation on that and ongoing support with our technical teams. So I want to thank you, Cassandra. This has been amazing, and we appreciate the partnership that Digitrax and Zebra has. And we look forward to meeting you and discussing. Let me start that over. We just want to thank you, Cassandra. This has been amazing. We appreciate the partnership that Digitrax and Zebra have. We look forward to meeting you next and discussing how we can help you achieve your goals as an organization. Thank you.
Wonderful. And hang on. Okay.
Thank you, Greg. It was truly my pleasure to be here. And I love talking about clinical mobility. I love talking about the right device for the right clinician for the right point of care. So we love the partnership that we have with Digitrax, and we have the same value prop that you have, is that we want to do what's best for the organization, and we love being a consultant with you as well as with our organizations. So looking forward to our future. I am looking forward. I'm gonna repeat that part. We are looking forward for the continued partnership. As always, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
I think we got it, guys. I can edit around all this craziness. So, anything else?
No?
Here, let me put
I'm
Cassandra's
good.
audio on.
Are you
Okay,
good,
sorry. Go.
Cassandra?
Cassandra?
I am good. Yes.
Cool. Okay, well, thank you
Thank you
so
so much
much.
for all the help.
I appreciate your
Thank you. Appreciate it.
patience with all this.
Yep. I
All
don't
right.
know what it is, but anyway, I'm glad we get it, and hopefully you can edit like crazy
Heck yeah,
and make it do what it do.
this will turn out fine. Okay, thanks so much.
Okay.
Have a
Hey,
great day.
thank you
All right.
very much, Cassandra. Thank you. All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.